Okay, we are back. We are on the play here. Death Weaver is an interesting card because it lets me prioritize some of my other cards a bit more highly. Yeah, and it's about on par, so I think I'm going to play that one first. So we will see where that leads. I could see anything but the Gloomspire one. The Gloomspire worm I'm probably going to take pretty lowly. Just the couple of times I've drawn it, I've seen how unlikely it is for my opponent to have an entirely clear board, which I guess there could be decks where it would be more likely to happen, but again, it's a card that will only trigger when you're already winning, so it's not super exciting. I could see Gloomfiend, I could see Forge Guardian. I could just double Forge Guardian here. Okay, I think I will probably Forge Guardian Gloomfiend, just because that's some very nice value here. Yeah. I like that trade. Okay. Definitely impressed with Glider. Impressed with both Shambler and Zombies, so because of Zombies level 3. Again, you have to get it there, but we'll see. Given that I've already got the Death Weaver, I probably will prioritize the Shambler, though. It does seem like it's better just because it's reasonable at all levels instead of just 1 or 2. Sometimes it's certainly worth playing a card that's only good at 1 level, but Twin Strength, doubled. What is Twin Strength exactly? Oh, cool. Probably just going to go ahead and play the Glider in front of the Wanderer. Yeah, my opponent could play things to affect the trade, but it would require a card to do so. So just get the Glider and the Shambler out and leveled up. Okay, Light Shoot Patrol would be nice. At player level 2, it will still be sufficient to get a Matrix Warden is still sufficient to trigger its ability. So even if the patrol is higher level than the Matrix Warden, that's fine. Wow, lots of hunting bags from my opponent. I'm definitely going to try to prioritize the Aloyan Judge to shrink those in the future. Charnel Titan would trigger off of that, so that's very likely decided my play. Okay, and Restless Wardens. At least I'm not the only person who always draws Restless Wanderers, I mean. Okay, so this is a 6/8. 6/8 will trump the Wanderers, and Light Shield Patrol will trump Hunting Pack. So let's go ahead and do that. Not super concerned about preserving the health on either, so I'll just play that. Okay, yeah, I may actually choose the Justicar here just because my opponent has played 2 hunting packs already. Despite being underleveled, I think it's probably worth it. Glider is very good at level 3, so I'll probably play that as well. Glider is one of the cards that actually doesn't need to be in the middle lane. Like, it gets the smallest bonus from being in the middle lane, but it requires at least to be good. So that's certainly nice. Vyric's Embrace shrinks my creature. That's what, -4/-4. Yeah, and you get +4 health. Cute. It's a little tempting to throw a Technosmith out just because I've got the time. But I think I'm just going to play Glider, continue to maintain board control. I will play the Justicar, though, just because that's good against so much of what my opponent's played. We're already on the advantage. My opponent's deck isn't... I hate to be mean to my opponents, but my opponent's deck isn't that scary, which is okay. I mean, they aren't always, but... Alright, Tactician's fine. Definitely tempted by Light Shield Patrol Alpha Matrix Warden, because the Patrol Matrix Warden would be a very good threat, but the Alpha would is kind of part of our late game plan. Oh, yay. I like dinosaurs. When it enters the lane, if there's another creature in the lane. Okay. So just when it enters play. If you play it in front of something, it's bigger. Alright, well, I'm actually gonna... I can move it, then play Tactician. I could play all of my level 1 cards. Move Glider, play Tactician to keep my Glider alive, and play Matrix Warden so that my Tactician can trade. Or I can just play my better cards. Either way, I'm going to try and trade with the Wander, or I'm going to definitely trade with the Wander because it is the most threatening. Probably going to play Patrol here. Actually, yeah, I think it's worth just leveling up my Guardian. Just because, again, my opponent's deck has not yet shown a good way to deal with a Forge Guardian Alpha with a Jetpack. Not that there's a ton of good answers to that. I could definitely see playing Overwhelming Force. That is also enough to trigger my Light Shield Patrol, which will likely still be alive here, so we'll see. Pretty cool army with giants and stuff. Though these dudes, barbarian wearing only a loincloth in the ice, looks pretty cold. I think the Overwhelming Force is not as good as Roar, but it's still a good card. FT Lepore. I wonder if that's Frank Lepore, the guy who does Magic commentary for Magic the Gathering. That would be cool. Alright, speaking of Roar. So, the buff will not save my Patrol, unfortunately. The Overwhelming Force buff. So, Hintermine would stay alive. That is interesting. Definitely playing Deathweaver. So the question is, Duskspire Zombie or Hintermine. I think I'm going to just play Hintermine because it stays alive, it does the best trading. Overwhelming Force would be fine here. It would buff 2 of the creatures that would stay alive, but I don't think that's enough. I think I'd rather just continue to pressure my opponent with board control rather than just make my creatures a bit bigger. Gloomfiend is fine. Maybe it'll combine with a Banshee to kill a 3-power creature or a 3 toughness creature. Deathseeker is definitely good with Deathwalker, though. If my opponent plays something that will not kill Deathweaver and plays something like anywhere that I can throw a Deathseeker in front of, that will be a reasonable play out of a level 1 card. Perhaps I should change my background. We are playing Necrim after all. So, Hindermine. Oh, okay. For a second I thought that was like a brain in a tank or something. I was going to say, is that Mother Brain? Unfortunate. Tiger Robot. Something. Alright, so we're, Dryad's Boon. Dryad's Boon is probably when opponent plays creatures, it grows. Alright, yep. Though it also gave +1/+1, which is going to go very, very nicely with my Deathseeker. I will allow that Deathseeker to die, which means that I can use this Gloom Fiend to kill the seedling so that my Deathweaver gets in for damage. So I get a free 9/9 there. That is very nice. Alright, very happy to see the Forge Guardian Alpha. Overwhelming Force will be nice if my opponent gives me the time to play it. If not, I might have to Matrix Warden or something, we'll see. Basically, I'll play Matrix Warden if it will affect a trade that would not, like if too many of my creatures die or something, for example. Alright. Opponent hopes to go deep and get lucky off of a hunting pack. So I was just looking at the art of some of these dudes. Just trying to figure out if Deathweaver is wearing a shirt or not. For all the things that don't matter, you know, you spend too much time staring at the game waiting for your opponent to play. It's like, what are these pictures that I haven't looked at that much? Gloom Fiend is cool. I like the Cursed Skull kind of thing. Cursed Skulls and what? NetHack were a pretty scary thing. Alright, Twin Strike does not scare me especially. Particularly since I get another creature out of it. So, kind of want to play Overwhelming Force just because it'll buff 2 of my creatures that will survive. It's unfortunate playing Alpha after combat, but I'd like to just get those trades to happen. So it will not get this buff, but it's still really Alpha is big enough on its own. Collider is something I'm very happy to see here. Yeah, this Deathweaver kind of got out of hand and got me way too much value. I was ahead already, but it's that kind of sealed the deal because it made my opponent need to keep playing catch up instead of being able to seal it out in a relatively short step. So yeah, so a zombie is still intriguing, but it's a question of can you get it to level 3, which even then might not be worth the first 2 levels. But if you can manage it, it's certainly worth it. It's certainly nice. So we definitely went off of a jetpack. Skynet Glider is going to be very difficult for my opponent to block without dying. I'm definitely feeling good. Yeah, I wonder if that's the same guy. Frank Report does very good Magic content, so it's his videos are fun to watch if you play them. If you play Magic the Gathering. All right, so we get 12 damage in. No way to buff it, so I'll just play the 2 creatures that I can play. I'm actually gonna play Corpulent Chandler over the other Alpha, just so that I can keep another lane open for Glider to glide into if I need it. Alright, got the jetpack anyway. So my opponent's almost certainly not going to spend a card to block the Alpha, so the jetpack's just going to win the game. If my opponent can handle my other 3 creatures. Which seems unlikely anyway. Oh, Hunting Pack is a very good way to start if you're going to try to block at least 3 creatures. It's definitely an interesting play. But my opponent bricked on it, so we won the game. All right, we'll be back for game 2. I forgot that the tournament structure now involves 4 rounds, which is nice. All right, got another event. All right, we'll be back in a minute with game 2.